Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another wonderful episode of Two Tutors Talking. I am your gracious host, Audrey Codner, and this is episode number 30, 32 or 33. I'm losing my count, but I'm in the 30s, and you guys are still watching. Awesomeness. Okay, I just want to let you know that. So I greatly appreciate that. Now, as we do on Two Tutors Talking, it was originally designed to help a lot of parents try to find the right tutor for their child, but then it's starting to evolve when it's helping other tutors get connected with other tutors. And as you probably all know, that yes, I am an online math tutor, but I'm also helping people with their venture of becoming a tutor. And then I have another person because I'm not the only one. Trust me, there's zillions of them. But then I came across this awesome lady in Canada that's doing basically a lot more than what I'm doing. And we have her here to basically tell us how was her journey and what is she doing now. So please, introducing to you Miss Kelly Dharamshi. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Audrey. Hi, everyone. Audrey, I don't think I'm doing a lot more than what you're doing. You're doing lots of great stuff. You
I'm
are.
like, but you are reaching like so many teachers from all over, and plus like you're doing a lot of stuff with your kids. So let's
Yeah,
start with the kids and then
sure.
we'll go into like the whole tutoring part. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into tutoring.
Okay. Well, I'm coming up on well, actually, no, I've just passed 2 years in November since I started my business. I'm coming up on 1 year since I left teaching. That'll be like a big anniversary. And in the past 2 years, I've just been growing my business. Basically, I started out as a reading teacher, and I still am a reading teacher. And I started my tutoring business because when I was looking for a tutor for my own child, I wanted someone who was gonna be like who was gonna make learning really fun and really motivate her and like really make it a very uplifting experience. Not like, okay, we're gonna sit at a desk and do all these workbooks. But that's the only kind of tutors I could find, actually, were the sitting at the desk
Mhm.
workbook ones. And I was like, Mm, something needs to change here. Why why isn't there someone that just like wants to meet with kids for, a little short period of time each week and do what they need to do, have some fun with it and motivate them. So I said I'm going to become that tutor myself. And I did. And I'm so happy because I'm a teacher at heart and I love teaching, and I was a classroom teacher for 20 years, and the teaching part of it I loved, but as you know, Audrey, the teaching part of it is that big.
Oh
And
my
the
goodness.
other stuff just kind of takes it over. So it was a perfect fit for me because kids needed a really like fun, motivating tutor, and I needed a platform where I could actually teach in my own way, in my own style, use my own creativity. So here I am. It was a perfect match, and that's what I'm doing now. And I'm also starting this. I'm bringing back as well my math club, which is kind of exciting. I'm like a little behind on that, but I want to bring it back for the new year. And the math
Mhm.
club is for a very specific type of learner. I know you're a math teacher, so you know all about math, but this is
Oh
for a
yeah.
very specific type of math learner. It's for kids that
Okay.
have maybe not had the best experience in school with math, and for
Mm.
whatever reason, they in the past when I run the math club, they may have had learning disability or ADHD, so it may be a neurodiversity that's going on, or it may be just just wasn't a good experience in general. So they've developed some math anxiety, and the math club is to help them overcome that and take a new perspective on math. And I'm really excited about it because when I was a kid, I had severe math anxiety. I was actually you
Mm.
did too. Yeah, they put me in special ed and all this stuff. So it's a real thing for sure, and I want to help kids to overcome that so they don't so that they don't close the door on math. And that's what I did when I was growing up. I closed the door on math, and I've only recently in adulthood opened it up again. So I want kids to be able to leave that leave that math door open for themselves and enjoy math and enjoy learning. And that's what my whole program is about. My tagline is make learning fun, and that's what I'm on a mission to do for all the kids that I work with.
There you go. Because I know for sure. that a lot of parents would love to have you when they were growing up as well. You know, especially when you hear math club, a lot of people think, okay, it's all like the math nerds just to get together and they just nerd it out in math. But now it's not kind of like putting that separation. Now, what you saying it's a math club is like, look, you can do math. And then a lot of parents sometimes they say, well, it's kind of hereditary because I was
Mhm.
terrible at math. That's why my kid is terrible at math. And you're like, it's not hereditary.
No,
It's
no.
because you had a horrible experience and you didn't realize that every time your child brought math work to do together for you guys, you're like trying to shun away from it. And then all of a sudden that kid picks it up and then they think that they're bad at it. And then we just need someone like yourself or like me to kind of like, break that cycle. And
Exactly.
and I think that's why that math club is essential and will be really helpful. I'm really excited to hear how it goes.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I'm excited for it too. It's gonna be awesome, and it's for younger learners. So I have one for sorry, not kindergarten, grade 1 to grade 3, and then another one for grade 4 to 6. So
And then,
we're
hey,
so we're catching them at that young age, so we can break the cycle before they get to high school and middle school, and things start to get a little bit tougher. Yeah, we want to go
mhm.
into those years with a really like good mindset about math. I think that would be really helpful for a lot of kids.
Yes, and it will be helpful for someone like myself and all the teachers that are doing secondary kids because that's what they're struggling with. A lot of kids,
Mindset.
even if they're in algebra 1, it's that fundamental. A lot of that was missing. There was probably some stuff missing prior to the pandemic. And
Mhm.
of course, the pandemic didn't really help a lot. So now we're really playing catch up in a world where they said, okay, let's start where we left off.
Yeah.
So, but kinda coming in before we go a little bit deeper, like, if you're here for the live, I see a couple people popping in, popping out, go ahead and hit hashtag live. If you're here for the replay, hit hashtag replay because it helps with the algorithm. And if anything, if you have a comment, fit in there. We like to chit chat a little bit. Yeah, we're going to nerd it out here and there, but this is supposed to be for you as much as it's fun for us. So
Mhm.
go ahead and put the hashtags in there. Now, kind of going with your sessions. Okay,
Mhm.
just your tutoring sessions right now. What are like some of the other things other than what developed the whole math club? What are some other things that you're noticing in your sessions?
That I'm noticing a lot of elves on shelves for sure. Because my kids are small, right? And everyone has an elf. So whenever I see them, I tutor mostly online. I do have some in-person classes as well. Like my older
Okay.
math club is going to be in person. I have a reading club that's in person for K to 3. And my in-person classes are closed now for the season because December is just like totally where I live, it's just busy, 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 and there's just
Mhm,
no point. So I've shut it down for December. We'll reopen in January, but I'm still tutoring online. And I you know what the nice thing about online is that, especially for the little ones, and I know you tutor the older kids online, is that it's
mhm,
so convenient. So I even have a student that came from my in-person class to go online just for December because it's so like, you don't have to leave your house. I live in Toronto, it's cold, you have to put snowsuits on, all this stuff, get the younger siblings out the door. It's so convenient for the parents. So and a lot of the kids live actually pretty close to me, but because, it's just so easy to log on to Zoom, and it's better
mhm,
for me. I find I can manage the class a lot easier. I can make it flow so much better through using the tools that I have online, that it's
mhm,
actually a much better learning experience than if I went to the kid's house, which I used to do like a long, long time ago when I first started
mhm.
teaching and I was tutoring at the same time. And I would not do that again. I would not do that
No.
again. Online is just, I can deliver such a better program. So anyway, I log in, I see my kids, and the first thing they're telling me is, my elf is over there. And then show me the elf on the shelf. So that's pretty fun.
I
We're
love when
having
they
fun with
say,
that.
"Oh, I just got a new cat," and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like, the cat is,
Yeah.
like, dangling, and the cat's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Please put me down." And you're like, "Oh, like, okay, that's a great cat. You can put
Yeah.
him down. You can put 'em all down." But I mean, with the little ones, and still, I still have some of that with the older ones. I haven't
Oh,
done the
yeah.
Elf on the Shelf yet. I haven't really been in the full swing yet. But just like you, it seems like as soon as we came back, a lot of people think that we're back and they want to do in person. And
Mhm.
they're like, I think my kid will learn better in person. And I always have to tell the parents, give it a try. Like I always say, let's do one session or let's do like a little meet and greet type of thing. Let's look at things and ask the kid, how did you feel about the tutoring? And majority of the time, the kids are perfectly fine, but the parents are like, I want them in person. And that's your preference. Perfectly fine. But as things are going, I think a lot of people are going to lessen the in person and doing more online. As a tutor, it's great because I can have back to back. You know,
Yeah.
I'm going like 4 hours straight sometimes. And it's like 1 minute I'm in Florida, the next minute I'm in now I'm in Alaska. Oh, this is so
Wow!
interesting,
That's
right?
awesome.
Or just going all across America. And then now I just got two more from Washington State. So I don't know what's
Wow.
going on with Audrey in the West Coast, but Audrey's kind of liking it if I may speak of my person in the third person. But it just seems like I have to do sometimes a lot of convincing with
Mhm.
parents to say, give online tutoring a try. Like, have you experienced that as well, especially when you were transitioning?
You know what? I started online. I started
Okay.
well, I mean, I started tutoring in person in my backyard. That was when I first, like, before I actually started my business, and I was just kind of dipping my toe in the tutoring waters and that.
Mhm.
And then but then when I started my business, I started online and I started with groups. I was actually like, I'm not even going to tutor one to one. I'm just going to tutor groups. But then the way it evolved, I did tutor one to one and I really liked it. So I do tutor one. I tutor both one to one and groups now, but online only I do one to one. And my sessions are short because my kids are small. They're
You
up
got
to grade
younger ones.
3. So it's half an
Mhm.
hour. So it's like, are you really going to leave your house for half an hour? Like, you can just, and
Right.
I can understand if it was, I used to teach online. I used to teach like for my school board that I worked for.
Mhm.
I was an online teacher, and I can see the drawbacks of, oh boy, could I ever see the drawbacks of that, like being a small child in school, like full day of school online. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not down with that at all. No. Even though I used to teach it, but I could see how it was really hard on the kids. That was my last
Mhm.
teaching job, and then I left. Um, but for tutoring, for especially these quick little snippets, these little half-hour tutoring sessions, online is perfect because you don't have to,
Mhm.
you can just like log in and away you go, and you're done. And the kids get so much out of it. Like, they get the learning that they need. And this is another thing that a big thing I find that I have is that I have to not necessarily convince parents, but one of the big things I notice is that the parents of the younger children want an Orton Gillingham tutor. And Orton Gillingham
Okay.
is great. I mean, it's a method for teaching kids with dyslexia, and it's very, very intense, and it's recommended 2 hours a week of
Mhm.
tutoring, and it's probably better. I know people do it online. It's very multisensory, so it's maybe better done in person. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say definitively, but that's what I would
Mhm.
imagine. So,
Mhm.
but I'm not, like, I have Orton Gillingham training, but I'm not implementing the full, like, pure Orton Gillingham program or methodology or whatever, because my kids don't necessarily need it. They don't all they just need to be taught how to read, you know what I mean? And they can
Mhm.
get that really fast in half-hour classes and make huge progress in,
Mhm.
like record time, you know what I mean? Just because they just haven't learned how to read, because we're not teaching them at school. And it's not the teacher's fault. It's not the teacher's fault at all. I'm in Ontario, Canada, and all my
Mhm.
students are from Ontario. I'd love to branch out like how you do across the United States. All the American tutors I talk to are like all across the United States, but in Canada it's a little bit different because our curriculum is based on the province. And not that I'm teaching directly from the curriculum, but it is, kind of related to that. So we've only
Mhm.
recently just changed the curriculum to be more in line with the science of reading instead of the the other stuff we were doing before. So it's like it takes a long time for it to implement. And then we have all the other issues that go on in the classroom too, like behaviors and kids with that need so much support and are not getting it, and like teachers missing their preps every day and are totally burnt out, and you know what I mean, like all these other interruptions that we have in the classroom and barriers to learning. So no wonder these poor kids aren't learning how to read in school, you know what I mean? It's not their fault, it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the parents' fault, it's nobody's fault. It's just the way that things are set up. So that's what I love about my program. Is just you come in for half an hour, get that quick little boost, that lesson that you need. When it's one to one, it's like that's like worth a whole 5 days in school, half an hour one to one. You know what I mean? And then you get what you need and you go. So actually, have I had to convince parents about online? No, because if I have a parent that says I don't want to do it online, then I say to them, well, I have this in-person class, which I do have. You're welcome to
Mhm.
sign up for that. It's a group class. I mean, I don't one thing I don't do is I can't afford to tutor one to one in person because it
Awesome.
is so, because I have to pay to rent my space, I have to commute there, I have to do all these things. And honestly, it's not as much fun for the kids. I've tried it and it's really like it's a lot better in a group because you have that dynamic of the group and you're learning with peers, and we really have a lot of fun. Whereas one to one,
Yes.
you're just sitting across the table from me and it's like I'm not saying I'm not fun, but it's kind of like,
I'm your entertainment.
yeah, I know. Where's the other kids? Like, let's play a game. Well, it's just Kelly and me playing the game. You know what I mean? It's like kind of dull. So it's more, I find in person, it just works better for the kids and it works better for me. I'll be honest with you, to tutor in a group because time is precious and valuable. And if I can use my time to teach six kids as opposed to one,
Mhm.
and we can have
Mhm.
more fun and get that group energy going while we're doing it, then why wouldn't I? So that's what I offer to the parents if they say they don't want in person. I have this group class group class in person. If you want to sign up for that, you can. But to be honest with you, I don't get that much pushback from a lot of parents. And if they really say I want
Mhm.
a one-to-one in person, I just tell them, well, it's not going to be me. I can
Right.
refer you to other
For
people.
real.
I can refer you to people that will come to your house. But I can't guarantee you what kind of results you're going to get or what kind of experience you're going to have.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, right? At the end of the day,
Right.
it's they're the consumer and they can make the choice.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
perfect because then of all the things that we see, and this is the one thing I keep finding very interesting, no matter where in the world, every teacher is saying the same thing. There's so much craziness that's going on in the classroom,
Hmm.
and now I get to finally teach as a tutor. Now I'm
Yes.
actually able to teach as a tutor. So that we're going to kind of carry over to the other side of Kelly,
Hmm.
the
Yes.
other business that you're doing, your tips for tutoring, your tutoring tips for teachers. There we go.
Yes.
Tell us a
Yes.
little bit about them. Tell us
Well,
about your group.
tutoring tips for teachers, formerly known as Tutor Hustle for Teachers, but I changed the name to because I thought this would be a little bit more SEO friendly. I don't know. I'm
Hey,
no
smart. That's
Yeah,
smart.
I'm no SEO expert. That's one thing that's like eludes me. Maybe there'll be an SEO club and I can join it for people that have like the math club. People that have a search engine optimization anxiety. That's me. But but anyway, I changed the name to Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and that's really what it is. It's really like it is. It's tutoring tips for teachers. There's so many teachers that want to tutor because they want to make the extra money. Let's not beat around the bush about that. Things
Mhm,
are expensive. Um, Teaching incomes are not that high. No matter, I know in the states they're in some cases really low, and even
mhm,
where I am in Ontario, they're relatively speaking higher than they are in many parts of the states. But we're still, we're not getting paid like baseball player wage or something, you know what I mean? Like it's
mhm.
people
Right,
people need to make some extra money. So that's one reason teachers want to tutor. They also want to tutor because a lot of them want to leave the classroom like we did, right?
right.
We left the classroom to
Exactly.
become tutors because it's a lot more fun and we can actually do our job. So that's pretty
And
awesome.
get some freedom, freedom
Yes.
to not only financial, but also time freedom, just to
Yeah, and
figure out what
teaching
we wanna
freedom.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you can teach. You can actually teach. And if you're a teacher,
yeah,
that's a huge motivator because that's what you want to do, right? And
right, right.
so that's another reason why. And then even if they're doing it as a side hustle, still having that freedom to teach. Like I was tutoring on the side while I was teaching for a while, and let me tell you, it changed the whole experience that I had in the classroom and in the school because
Mm,
I kind of I don't know if it was, there was like a different energy about me, and it kind of like projected out into the school, and I got a much more positive experience back. I think like when I started tutoring, the most positive experience really that the school could give. And so that there's that too, because when you have your own business, especially when it's a teaching business,
mhm,
you just feel better about yourself. You feel more confident, and you'll put that energy out, and that energy will come back to you. So there's lots of reasons why teachers might want to tutor. So I started this group because I said, when I start tutoring and I know I'm going to be able to take it to the level where I can leave the classroom, and I knew I had that plan like months and months before I actually did leave. I said, I'm going to start something to inspire other teachers to do the same because I know how rough it is and I just want
right.
to like shed some light. So I started the Facebook group Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and we have over 3,000 members now, which is great.
That's
And it's
awesome.
a wonderful group. People have fun, I hope, and get lots of good information. And then I started my YouTube channel by the same name, Tutoring Tips for Teachers, and it's almost at 100 subscribers. I'm so excited about that
Awesome.
because I don't know anything about
No.
YouTube, like how to get subscribers. I have friends that tell me like, "Oh yeah, I have like 10,000 views on this video or whatever," but they know how to do the SEO and all that stuff. I don't know how to do that stuff. I'm just like, every week I have a live chat, like kind of like what we're doing now, but anyone from the group can join me on Zoom every Saturday morning. We have a chat about something that has to do with tutoring, some tip for tutoring. I put it up on YouTube. You can watch the replay. I interview people like yourself, and because you were on my YouTube channel, and it was a great chat. And so I interview people like you, other tutor coaches, and that's up on the channel as well. So it's just basically like a whole channel about tips for tutoring specifically for teachers. I mean, any tutor can use those tips, but it's designed for teachers because that's who I would love to see tutor so they could enjoy teaching. Yeah, so that's what
Exactly.
I'm doing with that.
Making that transition, we all well, both of us, when it comes to it's not an easy thing. Like, we know
No.
how to teach. We know
Yeah.
the content. We got that down. But then looking at the business side of tutoring,
Mhm.
we're like, some programs may mention it like a little bit here and there. Some people may not mention it at all. So people are just like, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. What do I need? Okay, I got internet. I got a
Mhm.
computer. All right, what else? I just need clients. And sometimes I'll
Yeah.
say, so what's your business name? And they're like, I don't have one. Okay, let's start there
Yeah.
because you don't want to bring people into the madness. You want it to be organized. You want to
Yes.
be able to feel comfortable with yourself before you start presenting. So, having the tips that you're offering, similar to, some of the stuff that I'm doing as well,
Mhm.
and knowing that you have people to support you,
Yes.
it can be very lonely when it comes to tutoring. So it's almost like look for some of these groups, look for Kelly's group,
Mhm.
or look for my group either way. Or, we got Joanne, we got so many Esme.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are having groups out there and go for what you want and just sit and be open-minded.
Mhm.
Even if you're thinking about it, still do your research and just join some of the groups and put your questions out there because if
Yeah.
you can't get someone to answer your question, we can't help you.
Yeah.
So like we're not mind readers, because we're teachers. We're not
Yeah.
naturally born to be businessmen or women. We were just
Exactly.
told to here's your curriculum, this is where your tools, use your creativity, go, and make
Yeah.
sure the test scores are high. And then we get them high, and then we don't get paid, but they get money. But we'll talk about that later. Um,
Yeah.
so With that, I mean, are there any other like coming attractions that's happening for Kelly? Like, I know, do you have any openings for tutoring? I know you're going to take some more people for the group. Like, what are some upcoming attractions for you?
Well, the math club's probably the biggest one. So I'm taking the reading tutoring is just about full. Like I can squeeze a few more kids in here and there, but it's pretty much full. And so the math club is the big one. That's the big attraction that's coming up. That's where I'm taking on new students. Um, I just I just recently wrote a book about my own, and it's like not like a Amazon bestseller, but it's like a free it's
Not
a
yet,
free
not yet,
it's
but it's
no,
coming.
no. It's free. It's a free ebook, and I don't know if I gave you the link for it, but if I didn't, I can give it to you. It's a free
Oh,
ebook, and it's about my own journey from classroom teacher to tutor, and the three important steps that I took, like kind of like what you were talking about, to set the foundation, the groundwork to get my business going. So
mhm,
people are welcome to download that and have a read. And then there's the link to my YouTube channel, and the Facebook group is in the book as well, so they can have a look at that. So those are the big things. The math club is like the biggest project I have right now. But in the new year, Audrey, this is like
mhm.
you're like the first person I'm telling this to.
Ooh, all
Yes.
the exclusives. Look at me being popular. Go ahead.
Of course. In the new year, I would love to set up a Teachers Pay Teacher store. That's like my dream. I would love to have a TPT store. So that's my goal for the new year. To
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
definitely look out for that because any type of resources that people can get,
Mhm.
do it. Definitely. Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So, if anything, I have a couple of things just so to show people. If you want to join her group, the Tutoring Tips for Teachers, I have the link right here below her Facebook group. So it's www. Or you can just do a search for Tutoring Tips for Teachers when you get into Facebook.
Mhm.
That's one of them. If you want to be one of those two people to fill into that reading slot, so we have her website. As soon as I get rid of that, all of a sudden doesn't want to come up. There it is.
There it is.
Okay, so we have the website www.kellys with an S readingclub.com. So take a look at her website. We're gonna go through the whole thing. Like I'm telling you, when it comes to tutors, a lot of tutors don't just have one thing.
Yeah, it's
We're
true.
on multiple platforms. We started
It's
off with
true.
just one, but we're
Yes.
everywhere. If you're on Instagram and you're scrolling, why don't you stop scrolling and then look up Reading Math Teacher Kelly? Make sure you have the underscores. Or for all my beautiful business to business people, I usually talk to you guys as well. So on LinkedIn, you can go ahead and look up Kelly on LinkedIn. And I think that is it for right now. But when you do share the link for me, I'm going to put it into the comments for your ebook because
Mm.
did not know that. Love that. Do it so people can get access to it because I think a lot of people would love to hear other people's story
Yes,
and
I love it.
the struggle with it and the joys, the pains, the ups, the downs. It's just like everything else. I love when people think that, oh, grass is always greener on the other side, as I always say, because they use more manure. So if anything, when the greatness, everyone always wants to see the great side of things, but remember, we also have that pain side, and it's
Mm,
not just you. Okay. And it happens popping up here and there.
yeah.
So we have Cheryl. Cheryl is like
Oh,
awesome
hi, Cheryl.
supporter, right? It's like, hi girls, I'm so excited for both of your programs. You are both amazing tutors and coaches. Thanks for all you do for tutors. And Cheryl, she was on our show as well and she's doing a lot of great things with the Christmas. And we're also did a collaboration with it's called the Merry Mix Extravaganza. It's still on. It's an Avid style calendar, and I know a lot of people are not really into celebrating Avid, but it was just like to do activities one for the day, just a countdown to Christmas or any to the holidays. So that is definitely still out, still open. Having a little problems with the Facebook, but definitely have the link to share if anybody else is willing to do that. And stay tuned, I guess, for next week, guys. We have Miss Veronica Reed coming back. She was the one that started all of this. the tutors
Nice.
talking. So it's almost like a kind of anniversary type thing.
Oh, that's so
Can't
nice.
believe we've been doing it for a while. So she'll be back here next week to tell us, to bless us what's going on with Reach Scholars. And as usual, thank you so much, Kelly, for coming in. I really do appreciate you taking the time.
Well,
Hope
thank
we
you,
had a good
Audrey.
time.
I did. I love chatting with you. You gotta come on the Tutoring Tips for Teachers channel and chat with me again. And
I know.
share your amazing tips. And thank you for your group because you share a lot of really good information with
Oh,
tutors and I
thank you.
learn a lot from you. I learned so much. So I think people should, if you're not in the group, well, you're probably in the group if you're watching this, but pay attention to that group and listen to Audrey because she's got good ideas.
I mean, I'm always dropping those
Yes.
a couple things because things keep popping up. But now I know for the month of December, yeah, it's all kinds of crazy. But I definitely got you in
Mhm.
January because now I
Yeah.
am full of the fully of all kinds of book. But I always find time for everyone. But if you are a
Yeah.
tutor that want to come and join my group, we have From the Classroom to Online Tutoring. It's on Facebook. I'm going to be starting my mastermind course soon. So
Ooh.
again, I'm going to give you everything from A to Z. We're currently doing my 14-day Kickstarter. So getting people to get to the nitty of the gritty, all the way from mindset, all the way to the onboarding process, like what to say, what not to say as you're bringing in new clientele. So that is the conclusion of Two Tutors Talking for this week. I would like to thank Kelly so much for coming in and for all that are watching. And please do not forget that you are awesome. And please continue to do the hard work that you're doing. Parents, if your child needs a tutor, this is the best place to watch all the videos. You can also watch it on YouTube for the podcast. Just type in Two Tutors Talking and you'll see all the episodes, and you get to pick and choose from people from around the world. So thanks again and continue to be awesome.